This is UMAR AHMED for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm joined by the British Cruiserweight Champion at his crib, Lawrence Okolie. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Been a while, obviously. You've been on the other side of the pond.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, how long have you lived here?
God, just middle of the year, I think, or early part of the year, yeah.
Not too long then, but is this Hackney?
This is Hackney, yeah. So
Okay.
it's not that far from my mum's. It's like 2 minutes away.
Yeah, and lived in Hackney all your life?
Yeah.
I've never been to Hackney before, actually. I'm based in South London. I don't come to North London much, but first time in Hackney, and obviously you get the reputation Hackney has. But I was like, am I in Hackney? Am I not? Because it's quite a nice area.
Yeah, definitely.
From what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, especially after the Olympics in 2012, they put a lot of money into Hackney and Stratford, so it's really boosted up the area.
Guessing with Stratford, obviously the West Ham Stadium there.
Yeah.
Obviously for the Olympic
Yeah,
Park,
exactly.
all the regeneration. So it seems like it's coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What was it like growing up though in Hackney before?
Hackney, pretty much same. Obviously, I don't know what the younger lot are doing now, but I think we used to just play football, hang out, just do normal stuff.
Just the usual then.
Yeah.
Okay. Jet lagged, Lawrence?
Very, very much so. But this is the first time I've ever been jet lagged before. So, like, I've been to America, I've been to different countries, but this is the first time I've come back and I've been like, wow. So, this is what jet lag feels. But I guess I was there for 3 weeks, so almost a month basically. So it was a bit longer than usual. So it was, it's been, I wouldn't say difficult, it's only been a couple of days, but it's been hard readjusting.
Sure. Have you been to California before?
To LA. Is that the California?
Yeah,
I've been before, yeah, but I was there for like 1 or 2 weeks the last time. So when I come back, it wasn't so bad. But this time it was hard starting there. Then now it's gonna be hard getting back up here, but it's all good.
The first time you went, was that just holiday related?
Yeah.
Okay. How was it at the Wildcard Gym? Obviously a famous gym, well known. Yeah. How was it?
It was good. Everyone there was friendly. It's like, and also there's places you can train in private as well. So it was just good all round. It was nice because where we lived wasn't too far from the gym, so we could either walk over or drive over, and the weather was nice, so it was always good.
Now, before you went out, I saw you at Okolie when Sonny Edwards fought Ryan Farag, and it was just that day I found out that you were going over. I asked you about it as well. How long did you know about it before flying out?
It was sort of like being spoke about for a while, but obviously we had to make sure everything was okay on both sides. Flights, accommodation, how long I was going to be there. And once everything was figured out, I just went over to help out.
What was your sort of reaction when they asked you to come over to Sparring Tyson?
I felt it was sort of like natural in the sense of, obviously I'm quite tall, strong, etc. So it's easy enough comparison. Obviously I'm not Deontay Wilder's not me, but if you want to spar someone, I wouldn't be a bad shout. So I thought it was a good move from them. And for me, it's just a case of I'm at the stage of my career where it's about learning, picking up stuff from different people. So I obviously couldn't say no.
Of course, we are going to come on to sort of how sparring with Tyson went, etc. But before that, in terms of your point of view, obviously going out there in terms of experience, your development, how beneficial was it for you?
It was fantastic. Obviously, it was good to get out of the comfort zone of London. Obviously, I know all my running routes and where I train and who I train with. So it's good to sort of break away from that, get some warm weather training in. And obviously I started working with an additional coach in Barry Robinson. So that's also been good, just sort of getting time to gel with him out there. So it's been good.
Okay, you say you gelled with Barry out there. You've been in contact since you got back?
Yeah, I think he's actually in Manchester now because he's been asked to come to a mixed martial arts seminar. So he's in Manchester at the moment. So yeah, I'll probably see him when he comes to London.
Would you sort of carry on working with him?
I think so. Obviously, we have to make sure as a team that it's a good step. But I definitely think so. The work we did out there was amazing, and he's a lot of times in boxing, I think people get it wrong because we are very backwards in terms of training. I think everything is, go 100%, go hard. You got to have heart. You got to have determination, which you do have to have all of those things. But I feel like what Barry sort of does is a lot of like drill work. He sort of brings in ideas from other sports into boxing, which is something I can relate with as like obviously one of the new school kind of boxers. I do strength and conditioning. I like drill work. I like those kind of ideas. So definitely, but I thought as a team, I think it's going to be a good idea, but we have to work it out.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, massive fight obviously this Saturday. No one sort of better to ask than you. You've been out, what was it, 3 weeks you said?
3.5 weeks, yeah.
3.5 weeks. What's sort of the dynamic between Ben Davison and Tyson Fury? Ben's been sort of under a lot of criticism, people saying he's not experienced enough. Look at the 2 fights he's had with Tyson, no one of note. It's a big fight obviously. He hasn't been in a corner yet with Tyson in a big fight. What do you sort of say to that? How was it with them two?
Yeah, it was good. They seem to speak the same language, so that's always good. I feel like Ben Davis, he's a clever man on top of everything. So as much as he might not be experienced and like in terms of training, he's young. But at the same time, all the great trainers were once young. They were probably as good trainers at 25, 26, 27 as maybe without the experience, but they would be at 50. Do you know what I mean? So I feel obviously you have to judge him on what he does, not on the fact that he's young. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like he's good in his corner, good in Isaac Lowe's corner as well. So all in all, I feel they have a good sort of relationship, and that's very important when you're going into a fight, to have a good relationship with your team in the sense of what they say you can trust and you can be yourself, you can be open. So I feel like it's good what he's got there at the moment.
Okay. How many rounds do you say roughly you did with Tyson?
50 something like that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. He's had the 2 comeback fights as I mentioned. Fans, I think it's fair to say, watching on BT Sport weren't blown away by it, and the sort of general view is it's too soon. You're jumping in with Deontay after these 2 comeback fights. Obviously the long layoff as well. From what you saw out there in sparring, and obviously sparring him for them rounds, how do you think he'll fare on Saturday night? I
think he's a lot different from what it was on TV the last couple of fights. I think he's shifted a bit more weight, and I was surprised by how well he could stay on his feet for the rounds. So most guys, even up to light heavyweight, cruiserweight, as the rounds go on, you start to hold your feet a bit more. But he was very able to keep moving. So I think that his conditioning is good, and he's very, like, in terms of boxing, if you want to compare him and Wilder, I don't know Wilder personally. I've never sparred Wilder, so it's hard for me to say. But from watching outside, and from sparring Tyson, I'd say Tyson's on a completely different planet from him in terms of boxing IQ and decision making. So he would think defense before offense. He would set his stuff up. He's not just throwing shots for the sake of throwing shots. He's thinking. But then you've also got, on the other hand, Wilder. Everyone knows, big puncher, strong guy, athletic. So if you want to talk about boxing, Fury miles apart. But physically, obviously, Wilder does pose those threats. So it's a question of if Fury can do what he's supposed to do and what he knows he can do for 12 rounds under the pressure of a fight. You know what I mean?
Sure, I hear that. What's happening?
Which one's that?
Cool.
Yeah,
yeah, I'll grab it. Daniel Jack?
That's not my phone. Sorry.
Nah, it's alright. We'll keep rolling. We keep rolling. It's like FL. It's fine.
Yeah,
we keep rolling.
But yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, it's he's definitely very, very talented, Tyson Fury. Do you know what I mean? So it's just about, can he do it? But I believe that at the highest level, boxing always wins anyway. So I do believe he's going to go out there and win. He's putting the work. He's lost the weight. But it's just, can he do it when the pressure's on?
Okay. Before you went out there, has your sort of view on the fight changed at all?
Definitely. Before I went out there, I believed that Wilder would take him out in 4 rounds or whatever, just on physical, like, going for it. You know, it's very it's very easy to get caught up in watching someone's recent performances that it doesn't determine who they are. So I watched these first 2 combat fights. That's Tyson, and I thought, he's looking a bit slow, like he's not taking it seriously. But seeing the change in this camp, the fact he is taking it seriously, you know, it has changed my view on the fight, definitely.
Okay. You've mentioned sort of him moving around the ring, etc. Tactically, do you think he's going to box southpaw and sort of take that range away from Wilder, or do you think he's going to get close in inside and try and tire him out?
I think he can do both, which is very very good. It's actually, I didn't know people would actually touch on that, but he's actually a very big guy.
Huge.
Yeah, like it's not necessarily his height and that, but I think he weighs a lot. as well, and I don't think Fury is not Fury. Wilder is that heavy.
No, he's much heavier. Fury.
He's much heavier, but Wilder's obviously strong. But it's easy to be strong for 3-4 rounds, pushing a bigger guy off. But if you're not landing the devastating shots as the fight goes on, I believe he will start to tire and feel the pace. And Fury, as we know, has come from a fighting family, so they are ready to have a fight when it's time. So a lot has been made of the power of Wilder, but at the same time, at heavyweight, any heavyweight can hit another heavyweight and hurt them. So it's going to be interesting. I think the fact that Fury's a much better boxer, but Wilder's a much better puncher, creates a crazy clash. So to me, I believe you'll know in the first couple of rounds who's going to win.
Right, I see what you're saying. People who are picking Tyson say he's going to do it on points. Do you see sort of a case for him stopping Wilder late?
Yes, definitely. I definitely see a case for that. I see a case for the fact that he's a lot bigger, as we said, and he can wear him out. And Wilder hasn't shown to be this unstoppable force defensively as well. So Fury is a great boxer, so he'll be able to pick holes if there are any in Wilder, and I don't see why you can't stop him.
Okay, that's interesting. Your sort of views changed from when you went out, because as you said, the general fan from them two fights that it wasn't overly impressive.
Yeah.
But the fact that your views changed, and the fact that under the pressure of a big night, Fury's done it before against Klitschko, so he stands in good stead.
It's true. It's true.
Okay.
No, definitely, yeah.
Had you met Tyson before properly?
No, I'd seen him before when he was a lot heavier at one of the Frank Warren shows. UMAR was boxing on, so I'd seen him there, and I wasn't taking him seriously. But seeing the train and his sort of mindset is what sort of more changed my mind than anything else. So his mindset is, okay, he's ready to go to the well. He's saying stuff, I don't want to say too much, that shows he's realistic about the fight. So he's not living in a fantasy world where I'm gonna go in there and do it again, outbox the big puncher. He's talking real tactics, real what his game plan is, what happens if this, what happens if that. So mentally he's got it now, but it's very different when you get hit. But if he can do what he's talking about doing and what he's shown, then yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay, so you're saying sort of in the ring you was impressed, and the mentality outside the ring as well? Yeah,
and no, the mentality obviously has to be shown in the ring. Anyone can say anything outside the ring, but it's the mentality shows in the ring, which I liked.
Okay. Was you sort of surprised how Tyson was? How were you received that there?
Yeah, it was good. I think him and his team were all very good. You know what I mean? They put us in a nice place. They did everything that was necessary, and it was good. Do you know what I mean? I like to hear what they have to say about me, but yeah, it was all good.
Obviously, you are under AJ boxing. Did he sort of give you any stick about that, or?
No, I mean, if anything, AJ is my manager as well as my friend, so he wants what's best for me, as all good management and good friends would. So when an opportunity like that comes on, where it can propel me skill-wise with Tyson Fury and confidence and all that kind of stuff, to say no out of he's a potential opponent doesn't make sense. So he didn't do that, and I went out there with full consent if I need it. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? I worded that badly. I actually meant to say, like, Tyson and his team, did they give you any stick about being on AJ boxing?
No. I think everyone was very professional. Do you know what I mean? You know, I'm with AJ, but at the same time, I'm not there for that. I'm there to help their team get ready for Wilder, which is the most important fight, because you lose to Wilder, the talk of AJ sort of fizzles out a bit. So I think I was there to do a job. I did the job. I think they were all very happy with the work I put in, and I was very happy with the way they treated me, so it was all good for me.
Sounds good. So you talked about Tyson, how he was in the ring. How did you feel sparring him?
I felt good. Obviously, I'm working on a lot of stuff, and where Tyson is a taller fighter, it made me have to sort of work on stuff that I don't usually work on. And seeing boxing from the different side, so I'm usually the taller, heavier, stronger guy. So getting the balance on the other side was good. I felt like I did what was needed of me, and I'm just happy moving forward with boxing.
Okay. Yeah, as you say, someone, and in your division especially, it's going to be unlikely you get someone bigger than you, but if you do, when you move up to European world level, etc., that might happen, so it's good prep for you.
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen while you're away, but a couple of people had a few things to say about you. Firstly, Richard Riakporhe. he was on Sky Sports podcast with Spencer Fearon. I can see you smiling. Did you see what he had to say about you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What did you make of his performance against Sam Hyde? Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was good. Do you know what I mean? I believe, I don't know what the scorecard was, but it looked like he was behind on points and he managed to pull out to stoppage, which is actually something that I anticipated happening. I thought we'd do it a lot earlier, but at the end of the day, what is he? 8 or 9-0. So you know he's progressing, and that's all you can do. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I need people to fight, so it's good to have another person that claims that he's ready to fight. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Also, in an IFO interview actually Coogan did with Jack Massey the other day, he was quite vocal in terms of wanting to fight with you. And what did he tweet to you? I forgot. What did he say?
Bunch of stuff is
really?
Yeah, it's just not really nothing too harsh or bad, but you know what I mean. I feel like it's something that it's a responsibility that comes with being a champion. Everyone's gonna say your name, but in the coming months we'll see who really wants to fight and who wants to fight next. I feel like people, I feel like it's easy to criticize me, but it's hard for these guys to say yes actually to fighting. Or even if they do say yes, I doubt they're going to go in thinking, you know what, I've 100% got this. But time will tell. I mean, I'm one of those people, it's very easy from outside to be like, I'm going to get in there, when he holds, I'm going to do this, when he does that, Lawrence just holds. But, you know, as I keep progressing, same way I'm 10-0, but the difference is I'm 10-0 and I'm taking risks, Commonwealth, British, etc. So, and I'm not deluded as well. So I'll never say that my last fight I was over the moon with it. Yes, I won the title. I'm happy I won the title, but I realised there's stuff that I need to work on, and that's all that I've been doing since. So when it comes to my next fight, then I'll be able to show the progression that I've made. So I feel like, anyway, time will tell. I don't want to talk too much about myself and my performances and whatever else, but time will tell. I'm a British champion. I want to defend the British title, so people are going to get their opportunities. If it's Richard, if it's Jack, if it's whoever else, they'll get opportunities to box. The same way I got mine, even though obviously I was mandatory. Whoever becomes mandatory will get the chance. Outside of that, if Richard wants to fight, very likely. Jack wants to fight, very likely. For me, it is what it is.
I hear that. You've had it sort of throughout the career, even before you became British champ, with Isaac Chamberlain, Luke Watkins, sort of calling your name out. Do you see that as a sign of respect?
Kind of and kind of not. Obviously, I see it two ways. When Matty Askin was British champion, no one was calling his name out. I think that's a sign. I don't want to say they were scared, but people weren't queuing up, I want to box Matty. But I'm champion now, and obviously people must see flaws. They must see that I'm 10-0, maybe inexperienced, so they feel that there's a route there for them. But there was in terms of sign of respect, I feel like maybe I'm just not that likable to boxers in my weight class, because I see on Twitter and other social media platforms, they all message each other, good luck against Lawrence and so on and so forth. Yeah, definitely. Multiple times, multiple different fighters. So there must be a reason for that. If it's fear of me, if it's respect, if it's I'm just an idiot and they don't like me, I don't really know, don't really care. Because at the end of the day, we're all cruiserweights and we're all going to have to fight each other sooner or later. So I think time and time again I've shown I don't really worry about who I'm fighting. I just worry about myself. So Isaac spoke, I beat Isaac. Luke Watkins said he wants to fight, I beat Luke. Matty Askin was talking, I beat Matty Askin. It's just is what it is, and that's what boxing is. At the end of the day, it's not a big deal to me. It's just get yourself in great shape, have a fight. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose, and just keep the ball rolling.
Sure. There's been a few sort of big cruiserweight fights over the couple last sort of months or so. Let's start with Isaac Chamberlain, Luke Watkins. Did you manage to see that?
Yeah, I was there live. Ringside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant fight.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Dramatic at the end as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, I loved it. It was great to see two guys go to war. It was a much better fight than my British title fight, definitely. But I'm British champion, so anyway, there's neither here nor there. But definitely, man, I got a shout out to Luke Watkins for showing so much grit and determination, especially coming off of a stoppage loss to go in 10 rounds with Isaac and only losing on the last round. And you got a shout out to Isaac because He was down on the points and managed to get the last round stoppage, knockdown, which secured him the victory.
Who did you have up before that knockdown?
You know what? They came and interviewed me in the middle, and I thought it was actually quite even because I thought Isaac was dominating the early rounds. Then when they got to the middle rounds, Luke Watkins was putting a lot of pressure, landing combinations, and started to win the middle rounds. Then they were sort of closing as it was getting closer. I thought Isaac was a bit more skillful, but Luke was piling on the pressure. So depending on what you liked, I was quite even. And then obviously the knockdown at the end, I believe, gave it to Isaac.
Okay. Usyk Bellew, I'm sure you watched that.
Definitely, yeah.
Your thoughts sort of on firstly Bellew's valiant performance?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a great performance. I felt like similar to Bradis, he showed that Usyk is a great fighter, but also human. But it's not going to take a normal human to beat him. It's going to take someone extraordinary. So, definitely good. But Bellew, you know, he showed a lot of skill, a lot of determination, a lot of movement, doing stuff we hadn't seen him do before. So it shows that he's got a great boxing brain. Unfortunately, it looked like he was getting tired just before, you know, the stoppage happened. So I feel like it was down to fatigue as opposed to like, was it being a massive puncher? But you got to shout out to both fighters. They showed the level that you can get to if you just keep on it. Because you look at Bellew, when Bellew was 10-0, 12-0, 14. When did he box? He boxed like Nathan Cleverly 15-0, so on and so forth. That fighter is not the fighter you see now. So that's the sort of thing that gives me motivation, knowing that as much as I'm 10-0, British champion, so on and so forth, the fighter I am today is not the fighter I'm going to be in 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, with experience, with hard work. So, you know, it definitely motivates me.
Well, and Bellew's become a pay-per-view star, so it's amazing what can happen. But in terms of Usyk, what I found interesting in the fight is him and Lomachenko. What they do is the first few rounds they don't start too quick. Yeah. They suss you out and then they tie you with mental pressure rather than throwing punches. It's incredible how they do that. How do you see him doing at heavyweight though, Usyk?
It depends which heavyweights he boxes. Do you know what I mean? I feel there's a lot of heavyweights he can outbox. As cruiserweights, I feel like we're not too far off heavyweights in terms of size. For example, myself, I'm quite a big cruiserweight. If I wanted to move up to heavyweight, I could move up to heavyweight tomorrow. I just wouldn't be a massive heavyweight. Same as Usyk. I've seen Usyk in person. He's a bit shorter than me, but he's stocky. So I believe he'll be able to fill out to maybe 105, 110 maybe. So I think he'll do well. He will slow down, obviously, because he'll have the extra weight on him. But I feel he'll be able to outbox the lower tier heavyweights. When you get to the elite, you know,
Joshua Fury,
I think it's just a bit too much in terms of size and like they're also good thinkers and strong guys, so it'll be difficult. But we'll see. He's still young. Yeah,
I guess we can't tell in terms of like the Joshua's, Wilder, Furies of the world until he boxes that sort of lower mid tier.
Yeah, exactly. Like because he didn't have crazy power at cruiserweight. Maybe it will increase as he moves up, but he does have amazing work rate and good boxing. So he might be able to win 12-round decisions and so on and so forth. But it depends. If you see, what's this guy's name? The American one that boxed the other day on Monte Carlo. Hunter.
Oh yeah, Michael.
So Hunter was a cruiserweight. I think he boxed Usyk, lost to Usyk. He's moved up to heavyweight and he's stopped Okolie and so those are two massive heavyweights he's managed to stop, and he wasn't a big cruiserweight or a big puncher at cruiserweight. So it shows it can be done. Obviously, cruiserweights have a lot more speed, a lot more agility. So if you can do it cleverly, you can beat a lot of heavyweights.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Usyk moving forward. One more cruiserweight fight I want to ask you about. Wadi Camacho, Arthur Nickbell, the rematch. Camacho come out on top. Have you had a chance to see it on YouTube or anything?
No.
Okay. In terms of Camacho, though, obviously he's now Commonwealth champion. Do you reckon you can mix it with the likes of Watkins, Chamberlain, Askin, etc.?
Can he?
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you know what I mean? But they all seem to be friends online, so I don't really know what's going on with them. But I don't know. What do you reckon? Me and him fighting. Do you like that fight? Or
you and Wadi?
Yeah.
I think Wadi would have to go through sort of, as I said, your Watkins, Chamberlain's, Asking because you're the number one at the moment in the British champ.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't mind me unless I'm seeing things.
Go ahead. I'll take it. Fine, I'll take it. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, in terms of if you're asking you and Camacho, you'd have to go up sort of the radar. He's Commonwealth champ now, so.
Because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, obviously, me and him were argued to fight, but then I decided to go with Ashkins because I felt like it was a you know, harder, bigger fight. But now he's Commonwealth champion. Maybe we fight. I don't know. I really don't know. We'll have to speak to Eddie and everyone to see. I'm ready to go, let's say, early next year. So everyone start training, start getting ready. You never know.
So you'd be happy to take Camacho then next?
I'm happy to fight any of the names that you said so far, which is Richards, Jack Macy, Waddy. There's the other one that won the Eliminator, Craig Glover. Yeah. Anyone that's in the top 10, I'm ready to go. Same when I turned pro, I put out something that said, these top 10 guys, I'm coming for you. I beat 3 people that are on that list. Tony Belly, obviously, world champion, completely off the radar. Yeah. He's, like, do you know what I mean? That was just me being silly. But then you've got, basically anyone in the top 10 I'll fight. That's what I have to say.
If you had to do a top 5 of the cruisers in Britain at the moment, obviously Belly's retired, how would it go?
Probably, obviously myself definitely first. Then I think Askins will beat the rest of the cruiserweights. Probably Craig Glover in terms of skill.
No, number 3?
Yeah, Craig Glover. Then Isaac, obviously, and I don't know who number 5 would be.
Waddy or Luke, I'm guessing.
Waddy, Luke. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That's
okay, you're open to fighting any of them.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting times. Right, we've talked quite a lot, half an hour.
Is it been like that?
Zip through that.
Yeah, alright, cool.
Just before we end, I want to talk about Tyson, but not in terms of this Saturday night. I just want to talk about sort of his comeback to the sport.
Yeah.
You know what he went through. Well, we don't know what he went through. Only he'll know the mental battle he had with depression, etc., alcoholism. What do you sort of make of the whole comeback? The fact that he was so low, and now within such a short space of time, he's lost that weight, and now he's fighting for the WBC title. Yeah. What do you make of that?
I think that's, first and foremost, it shows depth of character to himself, and also it's a motivation to not just myself, but I feel to anyone, because it's not fake. It's very real, and he's got a sort of anti-establishment kind of feel to himself. So it's like he doesn't do it for the TV. He doesn't do it for nothing like that. He's just about himself and getting it done. So you got to shout out to him, because a lot of people do go through depression, stuff that's happening outside of boxing in my life. I'm realising that you actually never know what anyone's going through. Do you know what I mean? So it's something that people really, really, really do need to be aware of. Do you know what I mean? Even, and I don't want to say too much, but definitely shout out to him. And that's another major reason why I'm rooting for him, because I want what he's gone through to shine a greater light. It's already a great light, losing all that weight, coming back, being fit enough to even fight again, and being mentally strong enough to say, I want to fight Deontay Wilder, one of the biggest punchers in the world. So you got to shout out to him. So I want his story to live on with a victory. So it'll be fantastic if he could win. Definitely.
I think, as you said, it is talked about a lot more in terms of mental health awareness, especially for men as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Used to get overlooked. But as you said, after beating Klitschko, he was the man on top of the world. If he can go through it, then it can happen to anyone.
Genuinely. And like, obviously, I don't personally feel like I've gone through anything on that level at all. So it's hard for me to sit here and say it, but I believe depression is a real thing, and it's something that actually needs to be spoken about on a much bigger level, because I think people go through it and they don't even realise they're going through it until maybe they're at the other end or they're really low. So it's something that I think as a society we get stuff wrong as well. You know, men, you're not allowed to cry, you're not allowed to show your feelings, you're a boxer, especially, do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's something that needs to be pushed to the side, and if someone 6'9" heavyweight champion can talk about it, then I feel that anyone can. Definitely.
Alright, just before I let you go, final prediction Saturday night, how does it go?
I believe that Fury will box Trevor, be very hard to hit for the first 2-3 rounds, and if they do start engaging, I think it's not going to go the way everyone thinks, where Fury's just going to get hit once and go down. He's a grown man, so I believe it will turn into a bit of a fight in the middle rounds, and depending on Wilder's fitness, Fury either drown him late or win on points.
Okay. Well, listen, Lawrence, I appreciate your time. Appreciate you having me over as well, actually.
No stress.
Have a good Christmas, and I'm sure you'll have a big 2019.
For sure.
Okay, this has been UMAR AHMED for IFL TV with the British Cruiserweight Champion, Lawrence Okolie, signing out. Thank you.
Bye.